Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Price is hardly moving. We see a little bit of downside today after the strong price increases in the last few days. We have a rather quiet Saturday, so there's really limited room for an update, but I try to give you always my latest views here on the channel. Still, the view remains largely bearish since we've dropped below 18.9k. The pump to the upside doesn't change anything. We need to be careful not to just, because we see a little bit of a pump suddenly to become bullish again. And, a lot of people do that. It's always important to not let yourself being, let's say, faked out by these strong moves. Yeah. Just because the market is shifting to the upside, it doesn't at all mean that it's suddenly bullish. A lot of people do that. A lot of people, now I get a lot of bullish comments again, which is weird because, when I was like 60% bullish, everybody was like, you're far too bullish. So it's always, it's always difficult. What is important to understand that at the moment, both, it could be bullish, it could be bearish. Yeah, it can be up or it can be down. There's nothing wrong with that. It just is the case. And I've highlighted that we need to have an open mind with Bitcoin. We need to allow for different possibilities. I think I've been trying to slam that lesson into you for the last 5-6 weeks, maybe even longer, that we need to have an open mind. Because if we look back at Bitcoin sort of long term, and this is only a chart where I've only really, I still haven't integrated this bit into my main chart, but it doesn't really matter. But since this correction started, for me, at least when we broke, I think it was 58k, end of last November, remember that, there was no bullish scenario left. There was no bullish scenario left. And everybody who's been following me on this channel will know that until June, until the middle of June, there was only a bearish scenario. Everybody, or not everybody, okay, a lot of people were still focusing bullish, and not necessarily all analysts, I'm not saying that, but just the sentiment of people in the comments. I had to very much defend my bearish scenarios in the whole move down here. Even here, especially here when we were starting to move up already, because it was just a corrective mess, to be honest, all the way up to 48k. I had to defend my bearish scenarios until we came down here to 20k basically. And this is the first time that I now tell you that basically we can have a bullish and a bearish scenario. It's not only bearish anymore. Here we had like 75 to 80% probability to head further down. So that was very clear. There was literally no bullish scenario left. Of course, there's always a chance, right? There's always a chance. At the moment, it is either bullish or bearish. Therefore, I have a bullish and a bearish count, as you know. And everybody who wants to avoid this kind of messy price action needs to wait for a clear signal. That is just what it is, unfortunately. I know it frustrates a lot of people. You'd like to have great answers, but you don't, in every situation, you don't always get that. You don't always get this clarity, especially not if you are in a potential turnaround space. Bitcoin is that. I mean, I still can't give you 100% clarity that we are definitely going down. And, it's important to understand that this is the case. There is uncertainty in the market right now. We could have the low in at 17.6k, and this is really the first time since November that I'm telling you that the low could be in. Before that, it was pretty clear we are coming further down. But unfortunately, since we dropped below 18.9k and it took out the most likely bullish case, it invalidated it basically. I just have to expect lower prices. We had to expect them before, but it just was a little bit more likely for me to already have the low in. Now we just have to understand that it's a bit more likely that the low isn't in because we took out that key level and took out that bullish scenario, which can't be fulfilled anymore by the Elliott Wave rules. So there is still a bullish case, of course, but I'm only giving it like a 40% probability. You need to understand that both scenarios are possible though. And anybody who wants to avoid that mess needs to either trade long term, or set your stop losses tight short term, but understand that it's a messy business at the moment. But there will be the time, and I think that is important to understand as well. There will be the time where there will literally be no bearish scenario left. Then I will talk to you about 80% bullish case, and there will be different scenarios again still, but there will be maybe bullish scenario A, there will be bullish scenario B, and bullish scenario C. And all we're talking about is how strong will the corrective pullback be, and how high will the next impulse be to the upside. So this will happen maybe when we break above 30k. We will have that, there won't be many bearish cases left. So I think this is important to understand, that times will change, but we are in a possible turnaround space where there is just uncertainty, guys, and I can't make it any clearer. TA doesn't allow us to be any clearer, other than understand what current price action is doing, list the possible scenarios, and talk about different options which are bullish and bearish. And then it's just, in this situation, it's just clear to be, have your stop loss in place and things like that. And yeah, so what is the most likely price action at the moment? What we need to understand, if we take a look here at the daily chart, you can see this ascending wedge still. All we're doing at the moment is we are coming back to retest that from below. So there is a significant resistance level here at around 21.8k. We came very, very close to this target. So we are going to zoom in a minute to take a look how close we actually came. This 21.9k level was a key target that we now reached. Yes, it could go higher. We talked about that in the previous video. But we have approached a key resistance zone. And all we're doing really from the bigger picture here is to retest that currently from below. Since we dropped out of that wedge to the downside, dropped below this ascending trend line, we have really come down. We have not retested this from below, and this is exactly what we're doing now. So could very well be, and that is definitely a chance, that if we cannot go higher and break back above this ascending trend line, that we will come down lower in a wave 3, and that could be a very strong sell-off. And a key level to watch out for, and I didn't mention it in the previous video, I think I only mentioned it to the channel members, I think on Discord and Telegram. As soon as we go below 20,250, it will be most likely that we are coming down further. Again, there is no 100% certainty, but it will make a corrective pullback less likely, and it will be more likely that we will then also lose those 18.5k levels and the 17.6k levels, okay? So keep an eye on that. This is currently not bullish yet. Of course, a break above this level will make it more bullish, but really only above 23,600 I will consider a more bullish scenario. Okay, so we need to understand we have pulled back into resistance now. Of course, you could understand this as a bull flag, and to be fair, it can go higher, yeah? It hasn't even reached the 21.9k level. This level is important because it is it's an important Fibonacci retracement level of that wave 1 here. Yeah, if we look at that, this is the 50% Fib level, a key level. I mean, of course, you could see this as a bull flag, and yes, indeed, it could go higher. We just need to understand that we have pulled back deep into resistance for a wave 2, and the wave 2 could still stretch higher here, the 61.8 level. But then if we go above this this level, then we are going to reach here the 78.6, and if we get closer and even break it, it will just get less likely that this is still a wave 2. Then we're talking about the possibility of something more bullish. But also what we need to understand, that this wave 2, this WXY pattern which we have currently suggested for this wave 2, as soon as we really get to that 21.9k level, this will really be a test. And yeah, we could go through straight away, but if we come back from that and pull back to the downside, this is where we will get a decision. So if we break below, as I said, below 20,250, it will be a good indication that we come down further. Again, nothing is moving in a straight line. If we go up and pull back and find support here at around 20,250, and especially if the pullback is only in 3 waves, then it will indicate that we have something more bullish going on. It would then be this red count, A, B, and we will move higher in a wave C. Especially if we move up in, especially if we move higher than the 23,600 to 23,800 level. So it's a key pivot point here, yeah, and we're waiting for Bitcoin to provide clarity. And of course, it's resistance level. You could trade that, you could short that, whatever. That's up to you. I'm not going to do anything here until I get a bit more clarity, because at the moment, until I see that pullback, yeah, I'm not really sure what's going to happen. Yeah, we want to see either now next an impulsive pullback in a wave 3, a strong move down, that would be, that would take us below 20,250, or we are going to see here a corrective pullback. And if we see a corrective pullback, find support here, that will open the doors to higher levels, and that would be rather bullish. Yeah, and then we could even consider again the bullish count even more. So I guess, you know, I think in the next few hours, next few days, we will have more clarity here for Bitcoin. But at the moment, you just need to understand that it is still an unclear mess, really. Yeah, and that here for Bitcoin, there is just a lot of uncertainty. So TA in this scenario can help you understand possible scenarios, what the market is capable of doing if certain conditions are fulfilled, key support, key resistance levels, and possible trade setups. But there is not always a high probability setup. Please keep that in mind. And yeah, that's at the moment my view about Bitcoin. So I'll keep you updated, of course. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.